Your number 8 film is another Michael Fassbender film. It's interesting. It's about American Samoa. It's about soccer. It's a biopic about an actual real-life soccer team and soccer coach. Tell me about Next Goal Wins.
Yeah, so I saw the trailer for this when I went to go see Mystery Movie Monday at Regal. I saw this trailer and I was like, this looks funny. I love Taika when he's doing original ideas. When he's adapting stuff, he kind of doesn't know that he needs to adapt. He's just doing whatever he usually does in his movies, and he's just like, I guess I can take this idea from there, but I'm not gonna really adapt. So when he's one of those actors that needs to make their own kind of original movies, a Jojo Rabbit, things like that. And this looks like it's gonna be with a lot of heart. Earlier this year, Champions came out, which is a kind of a similar premise. With Woody Harrelson, and I really enjoyed that film. It was really fun and funny, and I think Taika's a superior director than the one that directed that, and I can see him having Michael Fassbender, who has comedic chops, but doesn't get, another actor that gets kind of typecast into being the serious straight man all the time, being able to do something more comedic here and introducing us to some actors from a culture that we don't get a lot. That's kind of my thing where I'm like, ooh, the Samoa, the only Samoan actor I know is The Rock. And, it's just like he's the most famous one. And other than that, if you don't watch Hawaii Five-0, you never see him. So I'm interested to hear this true story and how he brings the life to it, and how fun it is, and how accurate it stays to the regular story. And if the soccer is fun. I think a lot of these sport movies forget to make the sport fun, and they focus so much on the dramatic part.
Yeah, well, and look, this is one too. It's about the American Samoa Football team or soccer team to you and me, the football team to the rest of the world, who loses a match 31-0. And for anyone who's not familiar with soccer's usually like baseball. It's like 2-1, 3-2. So to lose an international soccer match 31-0.
You're terrible.
Yeah, and it's just, at a certain point, the mercy rule should really, it's like Little League, the mercy rule should really probably be adopted at a certain point. So, it's a little bit Bad News Bears, a little bit Mighty Ducks is what it sounds like. And I'm with you.
That's what it is, that the Mighty Ducks feel.
Yeah, and I love Taika Waititi because he's a guy who made a comedy by playing Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And he did the world's hardest thing of making Thor into a comedy movie in Thor Ragnarok and proving everyone wrong, and then doing the world's worst MCU movie in Thor Love and Thunder with all the money and all the street cred. So the fact that I don't know if this is his first movie following Thor Love and Thunder, but in terms of production schedule, but this is the first movie of his that I've seen after Thor Love and Thunder.
This is his first directing film he's directed after Thor Love and Thunder.
So the fact that he's come back from Asgard, he's come back down to Earth, he's getting a camera, he's getting a soccer ball, and a bunch of not really well-known actors, and putting Michael Fassbender in there. I love the idea of this film. Taika Waititi, back to basics. What this kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Jon Favreau after Iron Man comes out and becomes a huge hit. So Iron Man 2, MCU launches the most profitable franchise in movie history, and then he does Cowboys and Aliens. And not an awful film, but it's not Iron Man. It's not like an all-time classic. And how do you fail with James Bond and Han Solo in a sci-fi western? It's not like it's a failure, but what was Jon Favreau's reaction to that? Back to basics, and he makes Chef, which is one of my favorite movies of the last 10 years. So I think the critical acclaim, or the lack of critical acclaim, of Thor: Love and Thunder, I wonder if that was sort of a slap in his face creatively, and this is sort of a back to basics for Taika Waititi, because I love him, and even in a small role in Free Guy, I love him in that role. So
in that movie,
he's so many great lines in there where he's like the a-hole tech billionaire, tech bro guy.
Yeah.
So I love Taika Waititi and pretty much everything he does. So I love the idea of this film too. So, and plus, it's not Fox anymore, but Searchlight Pictures. It's it's right up there with A24 in
they're
terms of
prolific.
being great indie studios. So next goal wins. What's your favorite sports movie?
Oof, that's a loaded question there. To the Google, so I don't forget anything. Sport movies.
Well, there's so many different choices, because you got like the Mighty Ducks type films, and you got ones like Champions.
You got the boxing films, or
Yeah, and you got like
the combat ones at least.
Yeah, and then you got like sports comedies like Major League. So what would be like some of your more? What is your go-to sports movie when you want to watch a sports movie?
So I'll say recently, obviously the Mighty Ducks is something that's like a comfort film for me. I'll say the Creed films as well. The Fighter with Christian Bale is something that's up there. Hustle, which recently came out on Netflix, and I thought Adam Sandler should have been nominated for that because he was fantastic. I brought up Southpaw earlier.
Yep.
And I think like Deep Blue Sea, which is like a water film. One that's not like really well made, but it's just a childhood favorite for me is Johnny Tsunami.
Interesting. Never even heard of that before. Who's in that one?
That's nobody It's just it's one of those Disney movies that they used to do like a sport film and just make it really extreme and emotional, and they'll add like Johnny Tsunami was in Hawaii and it was playing on that culture, and it was just a fun film at that time. It was like Johnny Tsunami, Brink, which was a skateboard film, and a couple other films that they did back to back to back. That was just a part of my childhood that I love. They're not super well made, but I could go back and watch those and it just feel right back as a child. So those would be some famous ones.
Time and place are always huge for watching movies. And yeah, you go back and rewatch it. It may or may not be the greatest, but your memories of them are always key for any kind of future film.
Yeah. And Fighting with My Family, really, really underrated one.
Yeah, that was the one about the WWE from a couple years ago. Yeah, that was Florence Pugh kind of really came out of the.
That was like a breakout.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that one, but I need to.